As soon as a person realizes that I can do this, it really is a mindset shift. That's really what it takes. It takes the ability for you to be open-minded enough to say that, could I do it? What would it look like for me if I did do it? And then what are the skills, what are the tools, what are the resources that I need to do, that I need to learn, build, or have at my disposal to be able to say it?
What's up, family? Welcome to another episode of the Traffic Sales and Profit Show. My name is Lamar. I'm your host. And today, this is a different episode because we are showing much love to the introverts. And we brought the introvert whisperer to the conversation. Chris Kirkwood, Mr. Speak Your Way to Cash, right? We had his wife Ashley on earlier. We had a great conversation a few episodes back. But Chris is coming to talk about how introverts can sell more, right? How they can take control of the sales process and feel authentic. Can they feel authentic?
Absolutely, you have to.
What's going on, man? Welcome to the show. Excited to have you here. You say you have to feel authentic when you're selling, right? Because a lot of people I find, whether introvert or not, are afraid of sales. But I think a lot of people, I've heard them use introversion as the reason why they can't sell.
Why they can't sell.
Yeah.
Yeah, so can we get transparent up here?
Let's just go straight and juggle it. Yeah, we can.
All right, so here's the thing. I identify as an introvert, right? But it doesn't mean that I'm shy. It means that I just prefer to be around people who I'm close to in smaller, intimate settings. Large groups, it doesn't give me energy. It actually takes a lot of energy for me to be in large groups. So the fact of the matter is that I use my self-identity as an introvert to hide behind a wall of not being competent enough to be in certain rooms because I didn't want to be rejected. A big thing with me is I believe that everybody is searching for one thing, to find the group that they feel accepted in. And because selling is one of those things that typically extroverted, people who are high energy, right? Leaders, people who are top of the class, who are always raising their hand, those people are typically the ones who are doing well in sales.
Yeah, when I think of salespeople, I think about the dude that's loud, they make a lot of noise. It's everybody's, either everybody's best friend or everybody hate him. It's one or the other, right? But everybody know him or her no matter what, right? Like, I think about all of that. You're right.
Yeah. So what ends up happening is that, at least in the conversations that I've had with other introverts, they say, well, I don't have that competence. That's not my personality. And I'm saying it don't gotta be your personality. Use your personality because you have something very special. You have the ability to actually hone in on those intimate conversations. Whereas other people who typically, because that guy, like you said, they either hate him or love him. And the people that hated him or didn't like him, it was because they didn't listen. So what I'm able to use is, we got a framework, I sell with love, right? So I tapped into listening, being open-minded to that person, validating where they are right now and where they want to go, and then using empathy to actually build rapport and actually get them closer to that sale.
So this is good. We're gonna get to, I know somebody like, who is this dude, where he come from? We'll get to the backstory in 1 second, but we just went kind of straight for the juggler. So this is good. As you're talking about this, because you talked about, hey, like I like more intimate one-on-one conversations. To me, that sounds a lot like sales. Because not all sales process, but a lot of sales process are not you talking to 100 people. Oftentimes, it's like two people just talking directly, finding out what that person needs, and how the product or service that you have helps them overcome the challenge, the problem, the issues that they may have. So it seems like it could be the perfect fit if we're open to selling.
Yes. It is the perfect fit. As soon as a person realizes that I can do this, it really is a mindset shift. That's really what it takes. It takes the ability for you to be open-minded enough to say that, could I do it? What would it look like for me if I did do it? And then what are the skills? What are the tools? What are the resources that I need to do, that I need to learn, build, or have at my disposal to be able to sell? If you can think about that and you can come to grips with that's a possibility, then you can sell as an introvert. And actually, you can be a powerful salesperson because you're going to be the underdog. And everybody loves an underdog. Everybody, no matter what circle you in, I believe people love to see the person because, and I never give myself titles because it's just not my personality. But what I really appreciate about our community and people that I've been in contact with is that they'll say, you're the people's champ. And it really touched my heart because I didn't see myself as being like a contender. I just wanted to have a conversation with people because that's what I love. I love engaging with people. I want to see people smile. I want to see them win. And that's my natural personality. And it took actually my wife to tell me that's a skill set. That's not, like, everybody doesn't have that. And so if they can think about it, and then if they can like internalize it and see themselves, they can do it. They can become it.
That's so good. That's so good. All right. Let's put a pin in this just for 1 second. Because I know people are asking and wondering, all right, like, he sounds so confident. This is so amazing. It makes sense. But was he always a salesperson? Does he have a sales background? Like, you know, because a lot of times people, I think we naturally do is when we see somebody confront something that we may believe, which could be a totally false belief, then we try to discount that and say, well, oh, it's different, right? Because he grew up in you know, number 2 sales rep in the Southeast or whatever it may be. What's your background? What's your story? I know you're in Atlanta now, originally from Chicago.
Yeah.
Right. Like tell us about, you know, starting off Chicago, growing up in Chicago. What's your background, family life like?
Okay. First and foremost, I am not a traditional trained salesman, right? That's what's in my background. So I grew up, I'm from Chicago, right? Originally from the west side of Chicago. I am a 3rd generation PK. So for those of you all who don't know what that is, my dad was a preacher, pastor. My grandfather was a preacher and pastor. So church was my life.
Oh, you into sales.
So
you selling for the Lord.
Right.
Selling salvation. You selling souls. There we go.
I became a part of my identity later on, but I didn't see it that way, right? So I did everything in church everything outside of, everything outside of being the lead pastor, the head pastor, I've done in church. I got my first set of keys at the age of 11. I was carrying the mother's bags from the sanctuary to the dining room, right? I'm doing all the things, washing,
trustee, armor bearer,
literally,
usher,
all the things.
Choir director. I was about to ask a choir director.
I was a choir director, the solo. I did solos from playing the drums because I also was over the music department.
You played the drums. So I want y'all to pick. This may not have been what happened, but in my mind, that's what I'm picturing. I'm picturing Chris playing the drums. He's singing. He's looking over the choir like, listen, y'all know, get it together, right? Doing all of it.
That's exactly how it went down, right? Okay, so that's my background, right? That's where I was born into that. I had no intention of ever going into sales, not even just sales, but business, because my dad was an entrepreneur, and I saw how him being an entrepreneur, he had really big vision. Actually, my dad was the very first entrepreneur that I seen. He's a person that I got my in the faith community, we call it that crazy faith. For him, he had big dreams. He always had big dreams, and I appreciate my dad for instilling that into me. But it was always a big problem with the church community because he would find these great deals, these investment opportunities, and he would bring it back to the community, but they really couldn't handle the risk.
Yeah.
For them, they thinking, oh, this guy is in the same faith community. If it don't work out, he gonna take care of me. That's not how investing works.
Exactly.
However, he was shunned because if a deal didn't go the way that everybody thought it was, he lost, they lost, but he was demand, like it was a demand on him to pay them back and make them whole.
Wow.
So I saw that, and I saw the reputation that he got for being whatever they were putting on him. He just had big dreams. He was just far further ahead than everybody else was. He saw something for his family. My dad got us from the west side of Chicago, living in a 2-bedroom apartment, 6 kids, mom and dad, and we moved to the south suburbs in a 5-bedroom house. To this day, I don't know how he did it, but I know he had big dreams, and he was committed to getting us out of that situation.
Now, let me ask you this: seeing that, and seeing the good and the bad, right? Seeing him like literally move your family from one living situation to a better situation, but also seeing the way people may have treated him unfairly or unjustly because he was a big dreamer, and because they said, okay, we'll take the risk until the risk is too much. And it's like, no, you take this risk and straighten us out. What kind of impact did that have on you? Or does it still have an impact on you today? Like, does it make you cautious in some areas where normally, like, you just got to remember those different things?
That's good. So what it does is it kind of, it helped me to kind of create where the lines are with certain communities.
That's good.
And making sure that I keep that at the forefront of my mind, that not everybody can handle the risk that you can handle. Not everybody's gonna rock with you the way they're not gonna see your vision and understand where you're trying to go and be okay with taking on the risk that you're willing to take on. But you got to be clear about that in the beginning.
Yeah.
So for me, growing up, I always shunned away from anything that looked like business, entrepreneurial, sales, anything that kind of looked like that. I didn't want to do that officially, right? So that's kind of how it impacted me too. It took me graduating from college, working in education for 10 years to realize I should have just went to school for business. Because I studied my growth.
Yeah.
Hindsight is always 20/20, right?
Yeah.
I believe it could have studied my growth, but I believe now I am where I'm supposed to be, where I'm always supposed to be. And now I feel more like myself than I've ever felt in my life. But that's because I stopped hiding my true self. See, when we grow up in certain communities, it doesn't matter if it's faith-based, it doesn't matter if it's social groups or organizations, whatever.
Right.
You want to fit in so much so that you are willing to become somebody else just so that you can keep your acceptance, just so you can keep your membership.
So true.
And it's only when you can confront the fact that you're being somebody else that you actually start living who you truly are.
So how did you, because you said, I'm not classically or professionally trained as a salesperson. At what point did you realize you were a salesperson?
When I made my first sale.
What was that?
So it was, I think either 2019 or 2020. So 2020, I started working full-time in our company, Speaking Ready Cash, right after the pandemic. We had our first child. I was working in the classroom. When everything went virtual, I could no longer be in the classroom. I already told you I'm an introvert. I shine when it's in person.
Yeah.
But having that screen up, working with the students, I knew that I could not deliver on what I really was great at. And I decided I had to cut out, right? And I had a baby at home. That also makes a huge difference in life. It was a turning point for me. That's when I realized I had to do something different. So I committed to joining our company, my wife and I, our company, full time. And I started just trying to figure out what was my place in the business. And it wasn't sales at first. It was pure operations, mostly admin. And to be honest with you, you work with your wife. We bumped heads a lot in that first year.
Really, me and Ronnie never bumped heads. Psych. I was
Guess what? If you enjoyed the last few minutes of this episode of the TSP Show, you gotta watch the full thing. But it's only available on The Convo. You can register today totally free at theconvo.tv or scroll down below for a listing of all of your favorite streaming apps where you can watch it today.